welcome back to Greenlands and carrying on from where we finished last time. We need to put another bale shed in and then we can finish prepping the mega field for planting corn. I had kind of messed up a little bit. I thought I needed to be in May to plant corn, so I thought I was getting ahead of myself in prepping this field, but actually we can plant it in April. So that's going to be the next video. I'm not sure which planter to use. I'm tempted by the John Deere that I used last time because the 8RX has got the liquid tanks on for the liquid fertilizer that goes with that. But any suggestions, chuck them down below for a nice planter, because yeah, open to suggestions really. We do own the horse planter, which is a 9-meter planter, which will be fine for the cornfields up at the farm. But for this mega field, we want something more mega scale. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I hadn't realised that the bale, what's going to become the middle bale shed is not actually full yet. So I could have put a few more in there, but you know, not a problem. We end up with a decent number of bales off of here. One of the really nice things about using these auto stacking bale sheds is at the end you can just count, because all the bales that are in there already were either fermented as grass silage or just unwrapped bales, and not round bales. So any round grass bales that are in here, or yeah, unfermented silage bales that are in here, are bales that we've created off this field. So I've got a worker going on the Big M with following with the baler, so I'm going to leave that to do its thing, because we need to move on and start to prep the next phase of getting this field sorted, just to plow it. Technically it doesn't need ploughing, as in it's not got the needs ploughing stage, so I could just bring a direct planter down and plant corn in, but that doesn't work in my brain. We've got a grass field which has been here now for 6 months, so we need to do something with that to break up the grass and the roots and stuff. So I'm going to put a plough through it. That seems sensible to me. I guess you could probably disc in the grass. I'm not sure. Generally I plough. On here that's fine because we're using the cheaty ploughs and we have two 9-meter cheaty ploughs. So I'm going to stick one of them on courseplay and one of them I will drive. And what I want to try and do is get in a courseplay course with up down rows first that starts on the north side of the field, so that the area that's already mowed we can start ploughing in. That took a bit of work. In the end, I drove down to the bottom left-hand corner, created the course, and it worked. I did try moving around the target position to a bunch of places, and that didn't seem to do it. So, yeah, ended up having to drive to the bottom left-hand corner, generated the course, and it all worked fine. So that's kind of weird. But there we are. We're set up, we're good to go. So you can see, yeah, it's just me showing where I parked, where the stop is pretty much where I had to be to generate the course. So a little bit frustrating, but I decided to save you all watching that. And yeah, the class is going to run off on courseplay, and I am going to drive the 8RX. So because it's a nice tractor. What I am going to do, did I do that? No, I'm just kind of randomly jumping around, it would appear. I was checking the heading to make sure that the class was running on 270, so that we end up on the same track, because otherwise that would be a bit annoying. And I do set the working width to 9 meters as well, so it's the same as courseplay. And hey, this is one of my preferred ways of doing big jobs like this. Obviously you can just set it on courseplay and, you know, set it and forget it and let it run, but it's quite nice actually doing some of the work, I find. The same as, you know, I started with mowing grass. I've mowed about half of the grass, and now we've got the helper doing it. I do some of the bale collecting today. I do end up putting the RX on courseplay for a bit to get some of the bale collecting sped up. I've only got the JCB working at the moment. financially, not the best choice because that's all leased. But it was nice to see it working in the field, and I found quite often having two tractors running bale collecting, they would crash into each other rather a lot. So yeah, now the reason that I did it at the start is because it was lagging behind a little bit, and I didn't want to have lots of bales left on the field, and switching to one now was just fine. I am quite tempted by the 4220 icon. I started watching Ollie blogs again. Now this always ends up happening. I say in a video, I don't watch these people anymore. I start watching them again. And I did see him having a sit in an icon, and it did look nice. As did the new Fendt 720 something, which had an insane waiting list. Again, the same thing. Started watching Tom Pemberton again. I'm almost caught up with his stuff. In fact, I think I am caught up with his stuff. And yeah, some cool stuff happening on his farm with the... obviously, they're putting in a completely new dairy that's been replacing one that's been there like 60 years. Just had a massive solar installation, which sounds like it's going to run pretty much the whole farm on solar. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of getting back into watching those guys after a bit of a break. I tend to do that. I think I've spoken about it before. I tend to cycle through what I watch on YouTube, and I took a bit of a break from watching many real world farmers, and then yeah, binged a load of Tom Pemberton last weekend, I think it was. Yeah, and yeah, really the bit that I struggle with Tom stuff is the clickbaitiness. I've spoken about it. I have used it recently, that will it lift it video, and the fake thumbnail. I was really hoping that would help it get loads of views. Annoyingly, DJ did a video on it the day before, and yeah, but I really hoped that thumbnail would help it get a lot of views. Maybe I should have picked something else up with it. Maybe I should have picked a combine or something, but the root crop harvesters are some of the heaviest vehicles in the game. It was 30 tons. And what I ended up doing is that weight block on the back, I edited so that it was 37 tons. Yeah, there was a bit of faffing to get that to work. I had to place I had to put the forks under the root crop harvester, carry the nearly 40-ton weight block to the back of the tractor, attach it to the tractor, and then pick up the root crop harvester, because with the weight block attached, it couldn't actually move because it would just tip the tractor up, obviously, because it had nearly 40 tons sat on the back of it. Yeah, I really thought that tractor is a beast, and I'd seen a load of pictures in development of it picking up silly things, and I just wanted to see how far it could go, and I actually thought it would go further. I did think it might pick up the harvester. I guess, physics says it probably won't. You're not going to get 30 tons in the air with 20 odd tons of vehicle and gravity and stuff. So yeah, it was just fun. I have a few other random videos like that I want to do. I just have to be in the right frame of mind, I guess, to record them. We've got a few. Obviously I had yesterday's Baylor Speed one, and got a video coming up tomorrow on lease to own and the finances of that. I sat and dove into that over the weekend, mainly because I was really curious. And it seemed when I did the lease or buy video, a lot of people's answer was lease to own. And so I wanted to dig into that and see whether it really was a good option. God, it's nice seeing so much kit running in the field. I didn't want to just wait to finish the mowing to start this job, because, these are big jobs. Yeah, so there's a video coming tomorrow, hopefully, on the finances of lease to own. And then when we get to the weekend, I'll be setting up the next mini-series, which is sugarcane, it would seem. And so far, it's sugarcane without crazy mods. I asked on the patrons page whether they wanted me to use crazy modded stuff. Well, not crazy, you know, but like the 9 meter forage harvest header for harvesting or base game stuff. And the answer so far is base game. So, unless that, actually, I think it was tied the last time I looked. So, if you're on Patreon and you haven't been voted yet, go vote, because I'm going to start filming that soon. Yeah, but I decided to jump into the JCB and do a bit of bio collecting, partly because it was nice to drive the JCB. I do like these tractors. I do love that they're fast, and it's not just that. The unique design. I love how they are styled. Obviously, they're kind of styled after MB tracks. I don't know if there's any links between them. I'm not a tractor historian. Someone will tell me probably in the comments that there are. I just like the unusual look of them. They're actually, was it the two of those I saw? Oh, yeah, there was at the I was going to say at the weekend, but it wasn't at the week. It was at the weekend. It was Friday. I went down to went over to visit my parents on Friday, and going down to my parents, I drove past in a lay-by I think it's the horse drill we have on here, in fact, on a low loader, parked up, and then going home, coming back. Oh god, that screen is nice. This is such a nice tractor. Coming back past it in the same lay-by, there were two. The horse was still there, but there was also a low loader with two. I think they were 4220s on the back. It was very cool. So bale collecting is all caught up now. I did have a slight ID10T issue with this. I finished. I thought I hit save. I didn't. So I was further through than this when I saved it last. But yeah, I did end up having to do about half an hour of the job again, which was a bit annoying. So something, this is another little peek behind the scenes. Something that I spent time doing on Sunday was, because I'm really bad, I finish recording a video and I stop. And then before I can record the next one, I usually have to do a bunch of stuff, you know, like maybe if I don't want to show animal feeding, I have to feed animals, I have to move. You know, at the end of this one, I had 4 tractors and the big M that all needed moving back to the farm. Bunch of other stuff that needed doing, and I'm always really bad at it. I just abandon the save and move on. And so yesterday, it's Monday today. Yesterday I spent a bunch of time for Greenlands, for Fröhling, and I think maybe one other. No, mainly for Greenlands and Fröhling, moving the doing all of the off-camera work, so that when I get round to sitting playing, I can just start playing. Because yeah, sometimes otherwise I end up rushing stuff. I need to do the same for Attingham. Maypole is a different case, and I'll talk about that in the Maypole video. But there's some really cool stuff coming with that. If you're on Discord, you might have seen some hints of that with some people posting some pictures. But yeah, I'll talk about that properly in the next Maypole video. So I'm drinking a coffee. It's I'm not very awake yet, which is kind of sad because I've been up for ages, but just not very awake yet. I didn't actually, I think I got it on video. There was one point where I named the workers after YouTube channel members, and there was a point where December was driving 2 pieces of equipment at the same time. So yeah, pretty much done here, and I've jumped in the big M because I wanted to do the finishing off. There was a patch that the worker missed to be ploughed in right now. I didn't think it was worth going back for it. We are not short of grass silage bales on here, so one of the things that I am pondering, so up at the main farm we have a bunker with, I think it's about 500,000 litres in it, might be more, grass silage. We're going to be cracking that open in the next video. Not many grass silage bales left up there, but we're approaching first cut where we'll make silage. There's a lot of silage bales down here, and I think we might start feeding some of those into the BGA, because the original intent with the maize silage we got off here was that it would go, don't crash. We've done so well. The original intent of the maize silage that we got off of here was that it would go into the BGA, and it hasn't. Obviously, it's gone to feeding animals, but we do seem to have an excess of grass silage because I have an insane amount of grass fields, and we have even more this year. So I think I might start putting some grass silage bales through. I'm a bit nervous about it because I don't want to run out of feed with all the animals that we have. But yeah, we do have plenty of grass to mow. I'm not going to mow the area next to this field this time. The trees have grown in a lot more, so that's going to make it trickier. The double row of saplings that I planted in the winter is growing in as well, and it's just going to be really tricky. So as I say, we've got so much grass that I'm thinking of selling grass silage, so I really don't think we need to worry about cutting everything that we can. So yeah, next plan for next time is to plant this field, and I'm not sure why the environmental score is so low off of there. I'm going to have a look at that. Yeah, the plan is to plant this with corn next time, and we've got one field up at the main farm that's ready to plant because I accidentally ploughed in the grass too early, and then another one's going to wait until May. So yeah, suggestions for a planter for the mega field. The field up at the farm we'll use the horse for. So yeah, it's just kind of where we are with that. In general, auto drives worked really well with the bale collecting. As you've seen, there's been the occasional crash, but we have quite a bit going on the field, and there's not really a gap. I think with a smaller field where you'd get across the up-down rows quicker, you probably wouldn't maybe have so many crashes because you'd be spaced out a bit more. I don't know. Yeah, it's worked really well. I think I'm running the latest version of auto drive on here. One of the things that I'm really bad at is if a mod is a GitHub mod, and actually in general, I'm really bad at updating mods. It's something that I went through doing a bit at the weekend. Part of the problem I have is that quite often I'll make little tweaks to mods, and then I have to remember if the reason the game is telling me it needs updating is because I've edited the mod, or if it's genuinely been updated, and then I've had to go and look at Mod Hub, the website, and see if there's a change log and see if it's different, or see if it is just that I've edited it for some reason, because I do like to do the odd little tweak here and there. Yeah, so that's that, and that is that on the baling, which is kind of cool. I did end up going round afterwards on the other, when I repeated this, and finishing off the last bale that was in the chamber. So we did get one more bale than we have now. So I did end up actually filling this bale trailer. So that's a difference that I hadn't noticed. So yeah, we'll go through in a sec and see how many we got, and then we'll just finish up the ploughing, because yeah, ploughing takes a while. Actually, they've done a really good job here. We're running 18 meters of plough on here, so it's pretty quick, really. I don't often use the GT plough in most of my Let's Plays. I do prefer the real one. So we've got 168 in here. We've got 19 in this one. There is a bit of space for some more. And we've got 61 in here. So that gives us 249 bales off of the mega field. It's pretty nice. And again, we might end up selling all of those, but we can return the leased JCB, and I hadn't realized I'd leased both of the Andersons. We can return one of those as well. I just need to work out which one. This one has 8% damage, so we'll do it based off of that. I'm going to return the fast bale at the end as well. I'm not going to use that again. It was really fun. It's a really cool edit by Mark. But we're going to go back to our normal traditional balers. I've got the 1 square balers with the windrow attached, which I really like. So we're going to go back to using that and the bale wrapper that I customised. Now, probably when we put those custom wrapped bales in the bale store, it'll remove the custom wrap anyway. So I might actually just swap it to the Maze Plus one, which does bigger square bales, because the Maze Plus one can do 240 centimetre square bales rather than the 220 of the standard one. I don't think I ever updated mine. So just the headland to go now. I'm just going to speed up. Actually, I need to do it on the class. The field speed is set kind of low. Considering we're just driving around the field at this point, not actually doing anything, and it's grass, so we can go pretty quick, I would have thought, particularly given it's farm sim. So there we go. I went and sped that one up as well. Got about 15 minutes to run the headland. So I only did it with one headland because obviously we're running two plows, so an 18-metre headland was plenty big enough. And actually 10 minutes. So I run Simple Inspector, which is what that little HUD is in the bottom left. It's a really useful mod if you use things like even just base game workers, but auto drive and course play, because it will give you, so you can see for the top row, it's got CP for course play. The two numbers are the current waypoint and the total number of waypoints, and then 10 minutes is the time left to finish. So, just a job like this, you'll have an idea how long it's going to take. If you're running a cedar or whatever, it'll tell you how full it is, which is really useful. If you're combining, if you're running a combine on course play, and you're off doing something else, and you need to jump back to see whether it's empty or not, then it's a really handy little mod. It's one of my must-haves. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if any of you watched it. I don't think I've done a video since I watched it. FSG's PAX video. That was cool. Really amazing to see his journey. I mean, he started doing YouTube about the same point I did. But it does not mention that. Because he's done a little bit better than me. Much more charismatic than I am. So, yeah, generally, clearly much better at this. 60, 70 odd thousand subscribers. But what was really cool was just watching him talk about, how 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago now, I guess, whatever it was, he started a YouTube channel, and now that YouTube channel is taking him to gaming conventions in other countries. It's nuts, isn't it? And I'm obviously much smaller scale, but the fact that doing stuff with video gaming has made me a bunch of cool friends. That's really cool. It's got me involved in the Maze Plus and Terra Life stuff with the farming agency and helping those guys out. Some cool friends. It's really awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes me, particularly as we get into Terra Life. So you might have seen on either Paul's Discord or Facebook, or I think I shared it on YouTube and on Discord. The first Terra Life alpha map now exists internally. Oh yeah, getting closer. It is a real thing. All of you who thought it might never ever exist, it exists. I haven't got my hands on it yet, so because most of the team that do the development speak German, and it's much easier for them to converse and discuss these things in German, and also because I have zero skills to bring in terms of all of the clever modding stuff, I've kind of stepped away from it a little bit while I've been doing that. Just watching, really, it's really cool stuff happens. I can't tell you about yet until we start streaming it, but yeah, it's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. You're going to really love it. If you like Maze Plus, then times it by a big number. It's going to be cool. Speaking of cool, we are nearly done. So, this, I remember this being or feeling like a much bigger job the first few times I did it. this has gone really well, so really pleased. I'm not going to lime it. The lime is at a good point. I'm going to leave it at good. And we will probably do most of the fertilizing with as we seed. Maybe not. It depends how far we've got to go. I might bring the solid fert spreader over, but we'll see how we go. That'll be the last crop we plant in here. So, because at this point we're running through to harvest, and we'll just see how rich we are at the end. It's yeah, we're at the point now where it's not really a challenge to pay off the loan, but it is, you know, now seeing how far we get. At this point, I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys all supporting me on this slightly smaller scale journey that we go on, but there are cool things happening, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to A, get my hands on Terra Life and play with it, because it's going to be so cool, and B, seeing what that does for our little YouTube channel, because yeah, could be big. It could be big. I don't know if it's happened. Yeah, it may have by the time this video comes out. Over the weekend I was closing in on 4,000 subscribers, and that felt like quite a milestone, because the last 1,000's been quite slow. So I'm just checking my phone to see we are 13 subscribers away. Yeah, it's got a bit slower lately, so the 5,000 subscribers of a giveaway is a way off yet still, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Our life will help, I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, actually, we've got a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or two. I've started watching a new series on Netflix called You, which is unusual, I guess. It was a recommendation from a colleague at work. We started watching it on, I think maybe from the week, or maybe on Friday. It was really good, really enjoying it. It started off being very dark. It doesn't feel quite as dark now, but I do kind of like that kind of quite dark thriller. Is thriller the right word? TV. Yeah. It started off really dark and really cool, and I'm hoping that it dips back that way, because it feels like it's lightened up a little bit. The other one that I haven't watched the last series of was, did I speak about watching Slasher? And I think they only had the first 3 series on Netflix, and to be honest, by the time it got to the 3rd series, it had jumped the shark a little bit. But I am quite curious about season 4. And it's really some of the things that I don't realise, you know, to start watching a series on Netflix, and I think, oh, this is new. Not realising that some of them are really old and have been about forever, and either Netflix has just picked them up or you've just found them. Either way is not uncommon for me. But there's so much stuff on demand TV to watch now. I'm still working my way through Lost. Did I say I was rewatching Lost? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, we're done. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button, comments, questions or suggestions below, and I'll see you next time on Greenlands.